Picture this. It's Tuesday evening. Keir Starmer is likely settling down with his evening cuppa, thinking he's weathered another day in number 10. Then his phone buzzes. It's not good news. In fact, it's 145,000 signatures worth of bad news, and that number is climbing faster than his approval ratings are falling. Welcome back to Alert View, where we track political pressure like a seismograph during an earthquake. And today, the reading is off the bloody charts. We are delving into the petition that has become the political equivalent of a slow-motion car crash that everyone finds impossible to look away from. Because nothing quite says, "We've got this under control," like nearly 150,000 people signing a petition demanding you do the precise opposite of what you are currently doing. So, here is the situation that has Downing Street reaching for the industrial strength and acids. A petition demanding the closure of asylum hotels and the mass deportation of illegal migrants has just surpassed 145,000 signatures, with 45,000 of those added in the last month alone. That isn't just political pressure, that's territory for a political avalanche. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it. Life gets busy and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing. Subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. Now, before we proceed any further, let's discuss what these numbers truly signify in the grand scheme of British democracy. Online petitions are somewhat like political weather vanes. They don't necessarily predict where the wind is going to go, but they certainly tell you which way it's blowing at this moment. And right now, it is blowing a gale right through the government's asylum policy. The timing could not be worse for Labour either. This surge is not occurring in a vacuum. It is riding the wave of that Epping High Court victory we have been discussing all week. It's like watching dominoes fall, except each domino represents a piece of the government's credibility, and they are all tumbling in slow motion for everyone to see. The government's response to this petition, when it first reached 10,000 signatures, reads like a masterclass in political damage limitation. They essentially stated, "We inherited a mess, we're working as fast as we possibly can, but Rome wasn't built in a day." It is the governmental equivalent of saying, "It's not you, it's me." Technically true, but not precisely what people wish to hear when they are demanding immediate action. But this is where the story becomes truly fascinating, because Nigel Farage has spotted an opportunity, much like a shark smelling blood in the water. He is not just content to let reform councils follow Epping's legal precedent. He is actively encouraging what he is calling similar protests around Britain. It's political organizing disguised as righteous indignation, and it is working like a charm. Farage's strategy here is absolutely brilliant in its simplicity. He has taken the Epping victory and transformed it into a playbook that any council can follow. More importantly, he's framing it as grassroots resistance, rather than party political maneuvering. When he speaks of the good people of Epping inspiring protests, he is not referring to Reform Party strategy. He is talking about ordinary citizens taking a stand. The language he is employing is particularly clever too. Phrases like young, undocumented males living in local hotels are not accidental. They are specifically designed to tap into very particular anxieties regarding safety and community cohesion. Whether you agree with the sentiment or not, you must admire the political craftsmanship. Richard Tice, Reform's deputy leader, has basically confirmed that all 12 Reform councils are going to weaponize this ruling. He speaks of instructing legal departments to pursue all legal avenues, which sounds very official and responsible, but what he is really saying is, we are going to make this the government's problem in as many places as possible. The legal strategy is fascinatingly simple. They are not challenging asylum policy directly. They are challenging planning permission and consultation requirements. It is akin to attacking a castle by undermining its foundations rather than storming the walls, far more effective and much harder to defend against. Conservative councils are jumping on this bandwagon too because why should reform have all the fun? Karina Gonder from Broxbourne Council has essentially declared war with the government with her statement, "The government has failed. Now local councils are standing up to be counted." It is the kind of rhetoric that sounds as if it belongs in a Hollywood film about a local rebellion. But here is where things get truly interesting from a political dynamics perspective. Not all Conservative councils are following this lead. South Norfolk District Council has explicitly stated they will not be taking similar action over their asylum hotel in Diss. That tells us something important about how, even within parties, different calculations are being made concerning the political benefits versus the potential backlash. The fact that South Norfolk is holding back is particularly telling, given that they had protests in Diss back in July, which resulted in arrests. You would think that if anywhere was going to follow Epping's lead, it would be a place that has already witnessed public disorder. But sometimes the threat of more trouble is precisely what makes councils think twice about stirring the pot. Chris Philp, meanwhile, is having the time of his political life. As the Shadow Home Secretary, he gets to demand that every illegal arrival must be removed, every loophole must be closed, every community must be protected. It is opposition politics at its purest. Big promises, no responsibility for delivery, and maximum emotional impact. The government's response strategy is fascinating to observe because they are attempting to thread multiple needles at once. Dame Angela Eagle is promising to continue collaborating with local authorities and communities to address legitimate concerns, while also maintaining that they will close all asylum hotels by the end of this parliament. It is a form of political yoga, trying to be flexible enough to satisfy everyone without breaking anything significant. But here lies the problem with that approach. When Security Minister Dan Jarvis admits on Sky News that the migrants at the Bell Hotel will probably just be relocated somewhere else, he is essentially confirming everyone's worst suspicions. The government is not actually solving the problem, they're merely moving it around like a shell game in which everyone can plainly see the ball. The mathematics of this situation are brutal for the government. They have reduced hotel usage from 400 to 200 since taking power, which sounds impressive until one realizes that still equates to 200 communities potentially facing what Epping just went through. That means 200 potential legal challenges, 200 potential petition campaigns, and 200 potential political headaches. What makes this petition surge particularly dangerous for labor is how it highlights the disparity between policy timelines and public patience. The government is saying they will fix this by 2029, but 145,000 people are effectively saying that is not good enough. In politics, perception often matters more than reality. And the perception right now is that the government is being dragged, kicking and screaming, towards taking action. The truly clever aspect of how this pressure campaign is building is that it is using the government's own democratic processes against them. Petitions, court challenges, and pressure from local authorities are all perfectly legitimate components of the democratic system. It is opposition politics conducted through proper channels, which makes it much harder to dismiss or discredit. From a strategic perspective, what we are witnessing here is a masterclass in how to build political momentum around a single issue. The Epping victory provided the legal precedent, the petition provides the popular mandate, and the council challenges provide the mechanism for sustained pressure. It's like a political perfect storm, except it has been deliberately engineered. The government is in the uncomfortable position of trying to defend a policy that is already unpopular whilst promising to change it eventually. It's like being a restaurant manager who promises to improve the food while customers are still finding hairs in their soup. Even if your long-term plan is brilliant, you still have to deal with today's complaints. What makes the situation even more complex is the international dimension. The government can't just magic asylum seekers away. They have legal obligations under international law. But try explaining that to 145,000 petition signatories who are demanding immediate action. It's the classic tension between legal reality and political pressure. The next few weeks are going to be absolutely crucial for how this story develops. Will more councils follow the reform playbook? Will the petition numbers continue to climb? Most importantly, will the government adhere to their 2029 timeline, or will they be forced into more immediate action by the mounting pressure? What is particularly fascinating is how this demonstrates the power of sustained political pressure in the social media age. Traditional opposition would involve parliamentary questions and media interviews. Modern opposition involves online petitions, legal challenges, and coordinated local action. It is democracy 2.0, and it is far more effective at applying pressure. The Epping effect is spreading faster than gossip in a village post office. Each new council challenge legitimizes the next one. Each 1,000 petition signatures makes the next 1,000 easier to gather. It's political momentum building upon itself. And in politics, momentum can be absolutely devastating. Looking ahead, this story has all the ingredients of a long-running political saga. You have legal precedent, popular anger, organized opposition, and a government that has promised change but has not yet delivered it. It's like watching a slow-motion political accident where everyone can see what is coming, but nobody is able to stop it. The real question now is whether the government has learned anything from the Epping experience, or whether they are going to continue fighting the same battle in different locations until someone finally calls time. Because if 145,000 signatures teach us anything, it's that this issue is not going away quietly. So, there you have it. The story of how a single court ruling snowballed into a petition surge that has the government reaching for the panic button. If you enjoyed this deep dive into democratic pressure in action, hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over. Tomorrow we will be back with more political drama. Because when has British democracy ever been boring? Stay alert and keep your political analysis sharp. This is Alert View, and we'll see you next time for another dose of political chaos.